I'm actually crying. Oh my gosh. Hey, you geeks. Well, Eyes Without Mercy was not the episode I was expecting.
Crabine from Dunland!
Hide!
Lopen has left us today because he is so disappointed. But I think it's important to remember that Egwene was in that chapter too, and, we'll get to that later. I actually thought the episode was fantastic. However, it is utterly heartbreaking, and I didn't think it was appropriate to gleefully list out all the things that sparked joy in this episode. Rather, commend the episode for breaking my heart 10 times over.
In the best sense.
So, here they are. Spoilers for the show up to this point, and of course, no context book spoilers. Number 1. Kicking and screaming. Many people today rightfully talk about how great Ginger Rogers was for being able to keep up with Fred Astaire backwards and in high heels. Yet we give less credit today for actresses such as Maureen O'Hara, who had to act through getting dragged across the Irish countryside, kicking and screaming for the audience's amusement in the 50s and 60s. I think this is the sort of dynamic that Jordan wanted to analyze in The Wheel of Time and make it ridiculous by showing women doing it to each other.
You hate men. With one exception, it seems.
And the show gets this so perfectly in the very first scene as Rena drags Egwene into her cell, kicking and screaming. But the show also quickly keys in on the less physically brutal forms of manipulation that Jordan relied on. Today we'd call it grooming.
Many Suldam disagree, but I believe in cultivating a friendship between Suldam and Damane.
This completely broke me from scene 1, and that really just sets the tone for the rest of this. Number 2, Lanfear is right. Be careful what you wish for. I wanted to see Lanfear manipulate Rand with more than just her ample bosom.
When you got it, flaunt it.
And the show delivered, giving us a Lanfear that plays Rand like a violin by merely telling him the truth.
She's had you dancing on her strings this whole time.
Or at least most of it. Lanfear fails to mention that she and Ishi Deer are in league to get Rand to Falma at the moment, and that she somehow was still giving him those prologue reminiscent dreams while Rand was under her protection.
First one's free. Try it again and I'll flay you alive and feed you to your boy.
This woman is utterly terrifying, and I am terrified. Number 3, Of Mice and Moiraine. Oh, shocker! Moiraine's plan to outsmart the Forsaken has failed. Again.
But if you actually want to work with me, I have one condition.
Her plan to keep Lan safe by sending him away with others has failed. Again.
If you are dark friends sworn to Lanfear, you shall not leave this place.
This failure has resulted in him being forced to tell others of her super secret plan.
We found the Dragonry Wall.
And so we find her sitting alone, writing what might just be a suicide note to her lover Swan.
I know what you really want. What all those cut off from the One Power desire most of all.
This scene broke me. Not really on Moraine's account, because she kind of had this coming.
He had it coming.
Rather, it's the excellence of the overall writing that broke me. the theme, as demonstrated in Moiraine, of her holding on to that few strings of power she has left to try and manipulate the pattern. And yet she fails over and over and over. Why doesn't she just stop? It would save her, at least, a whole lot of suffering.
You got none of what made him good, Moiraine. None of it. You are Mother, through and through.
Or maybe she could learn to treasure the friends she makes along the way. Instead, she has pushed them all away until her only friend is cute little innocent Barthanes and his sandwiches.
Barthanes, I owe you an apology. The truth is I've been a terrible visitor and a worse aunt. I do remember your sandwiches were... and are very good.
I think he's a very special sort of friend. Number 4, a cup of tea. One of my favorite characters from Crossroads of Twilight is, of course,
Cup of tea.
and it's so comforting to see the teacup's glorious use as all these women deal with angst. It's just like an Aes Sedai to serve tea in the midst of a war zone or enemy territory and discuss dark tidings indeed.
So you know the drink is a calming one. I'm hoping we can have a reasonable conversation, Wisdom.
Or in the face of possible deception.
Here's as good a place to stop as any. I'm dying for some tea.
But really, when else would you need a cup of tea? For a cup of tea is a friend indeed. Number 5.
But we have no songs for great halls and evil times.
It's heartrending to see that an Ogier's Tree song can move a room full of frivolous Seanchan who are friends of a friend of the dark. For Loial is still showing his devotion to his friends that is just so endearing.
But what of Egwene Alvia?
Meanwhile, Ingtar has abandoned Egwene and can only care about the Horn of Bloody Valir.
There are far more guards there than around the Horn itself. The Horn is what matters, Builder.
You'd think he'd show a bit more regard for the woman who basically saved Faldara, his home. Even after King George sent Junior Asparagus to the front lines of the Great Pie War to steal Junior's rubber ducky.
I must have it, I must get it, you must go and get it for me.
King George gave Junior honors when he returned after...
This little fellow single-handedly stopped the advancing horde.
And yet, Ingtar cannot be bothered in his appropriate Delacour Vale attire, I might add, to care. Loial needs better friends. Number 6, twisted validation. Basically, every scene with Egwene broke me, so this would be a very long list. So, to sum up, is how the Sul'dam gave her these mini affirmations.
Feels better when we are complete, doesn't it? Look to the tree, Egwene. I know it brings you comfort.
Giving Egwene the joy of channeling again at the cost of destroying the only thing that gave her comfort outside the Sul'dam.
Feel it? Our affinity? Here, pour yourself some water. You deserve it.
Wow. Then the female dog rubs salt in an open wound.
You are a Damane, and a powerful one. I hope they told you at your White Tower just how special you are.
The Sul'dam may not know that Egwene is actually the second most powerful channeler that the tower currently possesses, and that they really let her know it.
And you? Where's Nynaeve Almira gone off to?
But Egwene does, and the audience does. So it's little moments like these that we can see how the Suldam and Damani relationship is so twisted with little affirmations that could easily break someone even as powerful as a sitter for the Blue Aja.
You lasted longer than I did, child. And I was a sitter of the Blue Aja.
Last season, book fans had their own little jokes about how Megan would be a good Damane next season. Although now, it's just not funny anymore. Number 7.
Oh, it's no coincidence, my little pony.
Rand and Matt's reunion is beautiful.
What in Light's name are you doing, Kyrian? What in Light's name are you doing, Kyrian?
I'm content to ignore the show's little retconning of what happened in the season 1 finale because to me that episode doesn't exist. So I'm therefore okay with Rand giving Matt all the news from Lake Woebegone.
But they think I'm dead. I thought it would protect them.
And I've gotta love the show for Matt's reaction to the news that his friend is the Dragon Reborn. It's so...
supportive, encouraging, everything you weren't.
Seeing these two together again just sparked such joy that was immediately ripped away as the Forsaken strike. Number 8. 'Cause I got friends in low places. I gotta say, I'm really disappointed in Showman for bringing Matt to Kyrian. My show-only friend has referred to her as that woman, which says it all. She's so jaded and edgy this season that I would have thought she'd have a little more backbone to stand up to Ishii. And yet...
I brought Matt here like you ordered. I've done my part.
And now you want your curse gone.
Her moment of coming clean to Matt only occurs after he'd already given Rand his word that he would accompany him to Falma. So it's as Ishii said, no matter what Matt would do, he would play into Ishamael's hand, abandon Rand, and make him think that he is utterly alone in the world.
Alone it is.
I'm still not sure what's going on with Min's vision, though her failing to just get off her butt and walk the 100 yards to tell Rand what's actually going on is one of those very Wheel of Time moments that are frustrating and authentic, leaving poor Matt to just decide on his own, should I stay or should I go, if he will save his friends or abandon them. And which is which? Number 9.
There's a familiar ring to it.
Okay, I'll stop with the Quiet Man references since most of you probably haven't seen that movie. Though, seriously, if that isn't just Perrin's arc from The Shadow Rising in another age, I don't know what is. And did you really think I could go an episode without talking about Perrin? Have you seen it? Let me know down in the comments. True to the books, the show, of course, just forgets about Perrin for a little bit and focuses on Nynaeve's anger issues, which are finally messing things up.
Basan, that means the Damane have found us.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
You'll do as I say. Do not expose yourselves. They have come to find a channeler, and I will give them one.
Plot-wise, I'm glad she's still struggling with her block, as her anger and power issues now puts everyone in danger. Most of all, Raima Sedai, who had selflessly arranged for their escape to safety with a sailor she could trust, and who wouldn't want to set sail with Bael?
Apologize, but I think you've underestimated both this situation and the two of us. Neither Nynaeve or I are leaving this city until Egwene is with us.
Instead, they refuse this offer rude, and by putting her in danger, Raima rewards them with a trove of Aes Sedai rings.
Can I trust you, Wisdom? to take my ring to the flame.
You can't do this.
Can I trust you, Nynaeve? Sister.
We've seen Moiraine flash this ring to commandeer a few horses. So what do you think two wool-headed, stubborn, driven girls could accomplish with rings and channeling and no adult supervision? Just as soon as they get out of Shan-Chan lands. Number 10. Better dead than Damane? Eyes Without Pity ultimately climaxed in the proposition that a friend may believe it's their duty to kill their other friend rather than let that friend suffer. Despite being in completely different circumstances, the show and book make the same point.
Do it! I can't! Don't let them do it! Do it!
With the same outcome, the mercy killing is prevented by the wheel and the pattern, allowing the friend to live another day and suffer. In the show, new fans seem to expect Egwene to overcome her obstacles and escape by the end of the episode.
But you think that you can take me on? You must be crazy.
The episode plays on this expectation, giving us that little vision fight that book fans were just confused by because we knew the rules.
The Damane cannot touch any object she believes to be a weapon.
Slowly and viciously, the show brings us all to the same page where Egwene yields and chooses to live as a Damane rather than die a free woman. The one could hardly call it a free choice under the massive amounts of coercion she was undergoing.
Sergeant!
Yes, sir.
Tie this horse to the post. No food or water. 3 days.
Yes, sir.
Yet maybe it's better for her to live. The Forsaken want Rand to save her, though also Nynaeve and Elaine are now joined in their mission to save Egwene as well, which is something the Forsaken do not intend. Just as the Forsaken do not wish Rand to deal with the Amyrlin seat.
I'm sorry. I can't let you leave.
The wheel weaves as the wheel wills, and we'll see what it wills next week. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you want to see more, and leave a comment. What did you think about this episode? See you next week. Bye!